Well, I was right about the S23 Ultra. They didn't raise the price, contrary to what a lot of the sources said. But there are a lot of, I think, under the surface surprises that we have with this phone that are not being talked about enough. Now, I'm not going to discount the fact that it's an $1,199 phone, but we pretty much knew that going into this, absent the rumors saying there was going to be a price increase. It's been like this. It's been like this for years. It was like this last year. It's been an expensive phone. So philosophically, if you don't believe in $1,199 phones, I can't help you. But if you are interested in this phone, then maybe this will help shed some light on some important things. So at face value, it looks the same. I mean, it looks identical to this phone right here, the S22 Ultra. And you can see here in this video clip, side by side, I put them side by side, and you can see what they look like here. Here's my thoughts whenever I picked up the phone. Okay, can you tell the difference? This is my S22 Ultra, and then here we have the S23 Ultra, and you can see them side by side. They look pretty darn similar, which is something that I discussed previously. But what you'll find, though, is if you take a look at it, the S22 Ultra has a lot more rounded edge. It's got the rounded sides, and then the curved edge is a little bit more prominent. And then if you put it right here next to the S23 Ultra, you can see it's more boxy and changes a little bit different. So here we have both of them side by side. So again, this S22 Ultra, S23 Ultra right here. Not a whole lot of fundamental difference whenever you take a look at both of the phones together. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of fundamental difference on the outside. Under the hood, there's one important thing that I think makes a big difference, especially if you're pre-ordering it. So, baseline storage last year with the S22 Ultra was 128. Of course, they had the freebie upgrade to the 256 storage if you pre-ordered. You get the same deal now. So now baseline storage is 256 with the Ultra. I think that's great. Two reasons, and I've talked about this for years. 8K video takes up a lot of storage. If you're going to shoot an 8K video, 600 megabytes per minute of recording time, basically the minimum. It can go higher than that. And also we're talking about 200 megapixel photos. If you're going to take those, they take up a lot of megabytes, especially if you're going to export, you're going to shoot in RAW. That's going to be a big, gigantic photo. So you need more storage, especially since Samsung did what Apple did forever ago, basically from its inception. They don't give you expandable storage. So you need all the internal storage you can get. If you pre-order it, then you can get 512 for the same price as the normal price phone. So if you're going to buy one and pre-order it, if you pre-order it through Samsung, you can get the 512 storage upgrade for free. That's pretty good. And if you're interested, I have a link in the description for that where you can get an extra 50 bucks off as well. So there's another incentive. If not, don't worry about it. But 512 storage, that's important to me. That was one of the main reasons I pre-ordered. I paid a lot of extra money to get the storage in my iPhone. The Pros still start with 128 with the iPhone. So if you want to get the 256, you got to pay an extra $100. So the iPhone 14 Pro Max, $1099. If you want to get the 256, it's $1199. Same price as the S23 Ultra. If you want to get the 512, it's like another 100 or 200 bucks more than that. I paid a lot of money for my 14 Pro Max. It's what I record with, as much as I hate the iPhone. It's really good for recording. I airdrop all my stuff. I edit on Mac. It works well for me. But as far as the phones, not a big fan. I much prefer Android. So the S23 Ultra is a fantastic phone to pick up if you like the flagship Android experience. And also top of the line video. They've got a much better microphone than the iPhone. I had to pay for an external microphone to put on my iPhone. So there's a lot of things that actually go really well with it. 200 megapixel camera. It looks nicer than I thought it was going to. But I don't think that's so much the megapixels. I think it has a lot more to do with the sensor, the image signal processor in the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 that's going to, it works better because it's got the horsepower behind the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. You've got the better machine learning, the better AI, better computational photography. Heck, you even get ray tracing if you want to play video games on your phone that support it. That's really cool. And I saw that at the MediaTek Summit at the end of last year. They introduced ray tracing into their new Dimensity processor. Also the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 a week later. They announced that they too have ray tracing, and that's pretty sweet. You also have the UFS 4.0. You're probably wondering, what is that? Well, the storage. So your storage is not only larger, it's faster. So you get faster read or write times, faster things to open on your phone, faster data transfer speeds whenever you're doing things. That's important. You need faster read and write speeds when you're basically recording 8K and 200 megapixel stuff on your phone. There's a lot of processing stuff that goes on too, so you need faster memory. It's got the LDDR-X5, which is faster memory. Why do you need that? Well, it uses that, part of that whenever you're taking photos, but also it uses all that in conjunction to process the photo. One thing you'll notice when you get the S23 Ultra, when you take a photo, yeah, especially with the 200 megapixel camera, it can take a second or so to process it. You'll take the photo, you'll have a little bit of shutter lag, which I did note is still there. I hope there's a way they can process that faster. There is an option in the settings for a faster shutter speed, but it says you can have a reduced quality of the photo. In some situations, I don't think that matters, but where quality matters, you don't want to use that. So, yes, it'll processes faster. So you do your low light photo, you do your regular photo, it takes a shot, you look at it in your images, and you see the immediate photo, and then right after that, you see the process photo. Like it just kind of like it flips a switch like half a second later, and you see what the ultimate shot was. And this is something that Samsung is playing catch up for a little while with Google. Everybody knows about Google and their computational photography, that their amazing process-based approach to taking a photo, but also using the hardware to enhance it and to make it better. Samsung is catching up a lot in that department. This phone will take better photos. Not only does it take better natural photos with just the lens itself, but as soon as it runs it through the processing, it makes it look a lot better. And the low light stuff is legit. And they even invented this new thing called nightography. I have to give them credit for that. I really do, because nobody ever does this. This is the Apple game. Apple names things, right? The Super XD Retina display or XR, whatever. They name everything. Retina display, they've got the MagSafe charging, they've got ProMotion display. Nothing is ever numbers. Nothing is ever numbers, nothing is ever metrics, nothing's ever specs. It's always a name, but that's what you remember. That's what you remember. So whenever it comes to the Samsung phone, the S23 Ultra, you've got this nightography that they call it now, and that's the better emphasis on low light, better emphasis on skin tones, especially in low light too, better emphasis on video, especially low light and nighttime. So that was, I guess, maybe the lacking thing in the approach. Lots of cameras and lots of smartphones have worked on low light photos, but not so much on low light video. And of course, Pixel really turned things around with trying to put more emphasis on skin tone. So that's a big thing. I mean, if you have an iPhone and you're taking a picture in the dark and you've got a group of people, if you've got a darker complected person, sometimes they hardly even show up in the photo. So Google's gone a long way to address that and make that better. But now Samsung is also doing the same thing. This should help out quite a bit. So it's not just about having light complected skin or olive complected skin or dark complected skin. You should get a better, more true to life photo. And that's a big thing for certain people. I mean, that's something I take for granted because most likely I'll get a pretty decent shot. But I've got friends and other people that I know that might not be in the same boat. So this whole nightography thing, the emphasis on trying to capture more realistic photos, I think it will be a big thing that'll help people that maybe it is not quite as big on the radar as it should be, but I hope it's something that works as well as I've seen it work in the demonstrations and as it's intended to work once it gets out there. Also, this is probably going to be the best phone for gaming for a while. And I talk about gaming phones. They do have a purpose and a place. I mean, I love the Red Magic 7 Pro I tested out last year, I think it was 20,000 RPM cooling fan it had built in the phone. Like, that's just insane. I love the idea of having an active cooling fan in the phone. This does not have it, but it does have better thermals, better heat mitigation. It should perform better, especially than the 8th generation one we had last year with the S22 Ultra that wasn't so impressive and had to do a lot of software stuff to try and compensate for it. So I think we're going to have a better gaming experience. We have a top-of-the-line gaming experience, and Samsung's always been good at this. You don't necessarily have to go out and sacrifice. You don't have to buy an Asus Replica gaming phone. You don't have to buy a Red Magic phone. The S23 Ultra, that's part of the Ultra. It's going to be really good for playing video games. So if you like to play video games, if that's something you care about, it's going to be good. Samsung has the best screens that you can get in phones as far as I'm concerned. And some people might say, well, this other phone does. That other phone probably has a Samsung display in it. I mean, iPhone even uses Samsung displays. Samsung makes the best displays, period. When it comes to smartphones, they've got their 2X AMOLED, 120 hertz refresh rate. You can go up to Quad HD Plus resolution, and it's going to make for a great experience. Also, the 5,000 milliamp battery is still there as well. I wish they would upgrade the charging. Really, I wish they would. I mean, 45 watts is okay, but it could be a lot better. You look at a lot of the other phones are pushing 67 watt charging, 80 whatever, 100 watt charging. There's a lot of them going around out there. At least it's not the S23. The S23 still has 25-watt charging. That is just not acceptable to me in 2023. Now, 45-watt is like borderline okay. I wish it was better. But with the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, with the 5,000 milliamp battery, 45-watt charging, you're likely not to have to charge this phone during the day, even doing some heavy stuff, which that's really what I want to test out when I get in my hands. How much heavy lifting can this phone do in one day with that 5,000 milliamp battery? For normal day-to-day tasks, yes, of course it's going to get through the day. But if you're doing things like gaming, if you're doing photography, if you're shooting video, if you're using that 200 megapixel camera, if you're doing a lot of processing in your images, yeah, that stuff really eats up the battery. Will it really get you through the day? So can't wait to get mine. Mine won't be here until like the 17th. It's crazy because people in Europe and like Spain and some other places are already shipping, already got the phone. Like I had friends that got the phone the day after. So I don't really understand what Samsung's doing there. I don't know if that was a mistake or what. I wish they made a mistake with my order because I'll be glad when it gets here. But that's all I got. Just some things I want to talk about. Yes, at face value, it looks exactly the same as the S22 Ultra. But under the hood and the changes and the updates that they made, I think there's some meaningful stuff there that if you're in the market to get one, you're going to be happy with what you get. If you're looking at it from a year-over-year upgrade perspective, yeah, probably not worth it trading your S22 Ultra in for $500 to Samsung, which is a giant slap in the face from them, like just completely across the board. Not cool at all. But not everybody's in that position. There's a lot of folks that are just going to buy one outright, and it's the same price as last year. It has new stuff. They might not have a new phone for the last couple of years. That puts you in a really good position to get the best phone, probably going to be the best Android phone in the market for a while. I know we've got the OnePlus 11 coming out, but the S23 Ultra, it's the Ultra, and it throws everything at it. You get the S Pen, all those great things. So from a premium flagship perspective, yeah, they're going to be one of the top contenders this year. They always are. They bring their A game at the beginning of the year because they expect the phone to hold up to the competition all year long. And then they get the foldables in the fall. But I mean, there are other phones that are going to come out this year. OnePlus 11 is going to get announced on the 7th of February, just a couple days from now. We're going to get the Pixel 7a presumably this summer. That's not a flagship phone, but they make some amazing stuff. The Pixel 8 will be out this fall. The iPhone 15. God, how are we on the iPhone 15 already this year? Anyway, I'm going to quit talking about that stuff. I just wanted to talk about, one, I was right about the price. It didn't go up. And there's some nice things that you get along the way if you're interested in picking one up. If you're not interested, none of this stuff's probably going to convince you. So go to the comments and you can be angry about it. I'm totally cool with that. I mean, I'm not happy about getting $500 trade-in. I'm not trading this in. This phone is worth way more than $500. I'm keeping mine. I'm buying it outright because, well, I buy the latest and greatest, and I'm going to make a lot of videos about it this year. I'm going to cover it for you guys. So there's a lot of good reasons for me to get it. Maybe there might not be a lot of reasons for you to get it. And that's one great thing about the videos I make. I'm not here to sell you the phone. If you want to get it, I'll tell you about it, and you can make an informed decision on it. But yeah, $500 to trade this in for some minimal upgrades from the S22 Ultra to the S23 Ultra, I'm not doing it. So anyway, that's all I've got. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button, little notification bell, all that great stuff. And yeah, I got my end of video thing out of order. So I'm just going to end this now. I've been talking long enough. Y'all have a great day.